Next tonight, 8 cinemas owned by Cineworld will temporarily close in our region from Thursday, putting hundreds of jobs at risk. The company has blamed coronavirus restrictions and delays to the release of films. But it's not just Cineworld that's in trouble. Many independent cinemas are struggling too, with around half of those in our region still closed. Our business correspondent Spencer Stokes reports.
It was supposed to be the blockbuster that saved an industry, James Bond, reminding cinemas that this is no time to die. But 007 has stalled again. The latest film won't be released until next year. And so Cineworld, with its 8 Yorkshire sites, is closing temporarily. Others, though, are preparing to welcome customers, like the independent Cottage Road Cinema in Headingley. Prior to 2020, this cinema had never closed before. It's remained open during both World Wars and even the 1919 flu pandemic. But the curtain will reopen next month for what could prove to be the most challenging winter in the cinema's 108-year history.
Hopefully we can get through it. We're confident that we can survive. We have a good, loyal audience. There are people that come every week to every film that we show. And I think if we play a good mix, we can attract a lot of people.
Hey, I thought that was you.
This Friday sees the release of Saint Maud. It was shot in Scarborough before the pandemic and joins a long list of Yorkshire-made films. It's Screen Yorkshire's job to sell the region to producers, and they're confident new commissions won't dry up, despite the drop in audiences.
Yorkshire's never a hard sell in terms of encouraging people to come and take advantage of our wonderful landscapes and our great crews. I think there has been some uncertainty internationally, but, I'm starting to take calls now from people in LA saying, now the insurance situation is sorted out, they feel much more confident about coming to film, knowing that they have those assurances if somebody does get ill and if the worst happens. But obviously, we hope that's not going to happen.
Penistone Paramount is another of our independents that's already reopened, partly in anticipation of Bond. Postponement has left them reeling.
Most films have their audience. Bond is almost unique in it has a massive audience, from basically 5-year-olds all the way to 85, 90-year-olds. I can't quite explain it. I guess we've all grown up with Bond, and that's why you see such a huge audience. And that's the really disappointing part, because it would have revitalised the industry overnight.
This afternoon, the Prime Minister urged people to go to cinemas, but a combination of COVID and an absence of those big screen names could see other operators follow Cineworld's lead. Well, here we are in Ilkley Cinema. It too is determined to stay open. It's been here in the town for about 5 years, has 2 screens, and is showing 23 Walks starring Alison Steadman this afternoon. People have been turning up to see it. We've been catching up with a few of those people and asking them how confident they feel about coming back to the cinema.
Social distancing, wearing masks, everything you can do really.
With the seats cancelled either sides, I mean they're pretty wide seats anyway. They're very well distanced. So I felt fine, and I've got the app, and it didn't show anything adverse.
It's their second time. How much longer cinemas will keep open, I'm not sure. But I respect the idea of keeping films back until next year. I really do believe that they shouldn't sell out to the streaming companies.
We come 2 or 3 times a week to see both new releases and vintage films and live screenings. We are big fans of this place. And when we're not coming to see a movie, we come and have a drink with them to plump up the coffers of the bar. We're keeping the cinema open.
So you can see this cinema is a little bit different because it's got this lovely outside area here. Ilkley Moor behind me, and the manager Phil Jones is with us now. Phil, we've been hearing from some of the customers there. What have you done to reassure them and bring people back in?
Well, we spent a good few weeks planning the reopening to make sure we were in a position where we were safe. The first thing we did was create a dynamic booking system whereby once you book one seat, it eliminates the next seat to you for your social distancing. Then we do a deep clean before every screening, after every screening, and between, out in the bar areas out here. We also have fresh air filtration systems within both screens.
Of course, there are some people who still won't come back until the virus has gone completely. So how worried are you about the future of the business? This is really nice out here, but how do you get people in?
Well, it's a tough one at the moment, and it's worrying for everybody in the industry, but we looked at it as a positive and tried to look at it that we could adapt and change our ways. So we're now trying to get people to come in and have a drink, have a coffee, have a wine, you can have some food, and you don't even need to go and see a film.
Phil, thank you very much for joining us. So the message from the industry is that it is safe, but after 7 months of us all being told that the virus is spread indoors when you're spending time with people, I think that's quite a difficult message to get through. Amy, back to you.
Spencer, thank you.